Hello everyone, good morning. Myself Muralidhar Reddy. I'm a DevOps consultant and solution architect. Now we are going to discussing about what is Tomcat, why we use Tomcat, what are the versions available in Tomcat, which version will be use it in the real time, everything we can see that. So here we have a DevOps Zero to Hero series in the Tomcat day 14. I already written the documentation related to theory part. We can see that so that you will get some idea. So first of all, what is Tomcat? Tomcat is a open source and free to use. This particular Tomcat is developed by Apache team. Okay, Apache Software Foundation, they have developed this particular Tomcat. Especially if you want to be deploy any web application. Example, your application is Java-based application. You have generated the WAR file. If you want to deploy the particular WAR file, we can deploy in Tomcat. Tomcat, we can install both Windows or Linux. Depends on our use cases in real time. We may install in the Tomcat in Linux or we can install in the Windows as well. Linux and Windows. Understand, right? And also it will be serve both static content and also dynamic content as well via the particular servlets and JSP one. Clear, right? You understood, right? What exactly Tomcat? Especially Tomcat is open source, free to use. It is a web bar app server. So it is developed by Apache team. Will be deploy Java-based application, that is WAR file will be deployed on Tomcat. And coming to the why we use Tomcat, first of all, as I said, it is open source and free to use. Totally, we don't require to pay any single payment. And also it will be support for Java-based applications. And also it is lightweight and we can easy to lightweight and fast. We can easy to configure. Example, if you want to be install the Tomcat in Linux or Windows, we can quickly install the Tomcat in both Linux or Windows and we can configure it. And also we can deploy the application on Tomcat. And also it serves Java servlets and JSP pages. And also it is perfect for deploying our REST APIs using Java frameworks like Spring, MVC. And also it is used for we will be use this particular Tomcat from a lower environment to Tomcat as well, production. Until production we can. And as I said, we can deploy only WAR file in Tomcat, especially it is built for Java-based application. We can deploy the WAR file in Tomcat. And the default port number is 8080. In case if you want to be change the port number, we can do that. Some of the situation we may require to change the port number as well. Example, single server, if you install the multiple Tomcats, what you have to do, one Tomcat you have to be give the specific port number, another Tomcat you have to change the another port number, otherwise it won't be run another Tomcat instance. I will show you that one as well, you will get some idea. And coming to the Java WE technology supported enterprise edition, and here you can see the servlet API, JSP, JSTL, WebSocket, especially servlet API for creating server side Java application, and JSP Java server pages for generating dynamic HTML with embedded Java, and JSTL means tag library for JSP, and WebSocket for real-time bidirectional communication. So these are the things also it will be support for Tomcat. Under Tomcat, we can see that structure architecture as well, so that we'll get some idea. Here we have a majorly four. One is Catalina, that is a servlet container. This is the main core component for the particular Tomcat. It is implement the servlet and JSP applications. The major responsibility for this particular Catalina, that is servlet container, processing using HTTP request and execute servlets. So this is the major thing. And coming to the second one, HTTP connector. So this is also Tomcat HTTP protocol handler, and it listens port number, that is the default is 8080. And in case if you want to be change that port number, we can change it. I will also show you how do we change that particular one. The main uses of this particular HTTP connector, right? It converts HTTP request into servlet request. Whatever you are getting the HTTP request, right? It will be convert to servlet request. And the next one is JSP, that is JSP engine. It is compiled. It will compile JSP files into servlets. Whatever JSP files, right? It will convert compiles to servlets, and also it helps convert dynamic HTML, whatever dynamic HTML into actual Java classes. This particular JSP engine it will be taking care. Whatever we have a dynamic code, Java code into actual Java classes. And next one is host, engine, service, and server. So here we have internal hierarchy. First thing is server. This is the top level element referring to the Tomcat instance. Wherever you install the Tomcat, right, that is the Tomcat. And the service, it contains one or more connectors and engines. That's specific service, right? It contains one or more connectors and engine. And engine is nothing but it will handle actual request processing. Whatever request is coming, right, the particular request will be processed. And host is nothing but it represents the virtual host like a domain, whatever. And context is nothing but when you deploy the application in the web apps directory, in the Tomcat we have a web apps directory, it represents the individual web application. Example, /Jenkins, /application1, application2, /user registration, whatever the specific application. So these are the Tomcat architecture. And also we can see that directory structure so that you will get some idea. When you install the Tomcat, example, you have installed the Tomcat 9, there we have a bin directory. Inside the bin directory, we'll be having that. If you want to be start the script, if you want to be shut down the script, we can use this particular bin directory. And next one is config directory. If you want to declare any configuration details, example, if you want to declare change the port number, you can go ahead and inside the server.xml, we can do that. In case if you want to be change the Tomcat related logs path, we can go ahead inside the config directory. We can do that. Inside the config directory, we'll be having the configuration files. And next one is lib directory. It will be contain the required Java libraries. Not only Tomcat, guys, any tool, example, Nexus, JFrog, SonarQube, any tool, right? In lib directory, it will contain the libraries only. It will be contain the jar files. Understand, right? And next one, logs. It will be contained in case if you define that application logs, it will be there, and also system levels logs and the particular Tomcat related logs, it will be there. And also web apps directory, whatever we are deploying the WAR file, right, those things will be there inside this particular web apps directory. Example, I'm going to show you how do we deploy the Jenkins WAR file in Tomcat. Some of the organizations, right, they will be deploy that particular Jenkins WAR file in the Tomcat to manage your Tomcat as well. So that's why I'm going to show you that one later. And the temp directory, it will be contain the temporary files. And next one is work directory. It will be contain that particular compiled JSP and intermediate files. These are the things is available. Understand, right? Any questions? Fine. Now coming to that, how do we deploying application in Tomcat? We will be deploying application in web apps directory, or we can directly copy the particular WAR file in the web apps directory, or we can use this particular Tomcat manager web UI. From there, we can manually do the deployment. But especially, right, we always do the automation to deploy our application. Example, if you want to deploy WAR file, you can use we can use Ansible playbook. Example, I'm telling guys, especially in on-prem servers, on-premises servers, right? If you want to deploy an application, we will be use that Ansible. But when it comes to the cloud, we may use Ansible with the Jenkins integration, everything, whatever, depends on use cases. Okay, they're different project to project, they may use different one. And coming to the Java compatibility table, and here you can see that Tomcat 7. Okay, it will be support servlet and JSP specific version, and the Java supported version is Java 6.7.8. But remember, Tomcat 7 no longer using any of the organizations. If they are using Tomcat 7, they are trying to upgrade from Tomcat 7 to Tomcat 9 or 10, because majority of the organizations are using the Tomcat 9, and also your application having that Java 11 application, not the Java 7. Understand, right? And here you can see that Tomcat 9, 10, and also we have a Tomcat 11 as well. Let me show you so that you will get some idea what are the versions available. For that one, you can go to the documentation. You can go to the Google and you can type it here, Tomcat download. And here you can see the tomcat.apache.org. As I said, Tomcat is built by Apache team. That's why here you can see that. Now you can click this particular one, and then here you can see that homepage. And this is our Tomcat official website. In left side, if you observe here you can see that Tomcat 9, Tomcat 10, Tomcat 11. And also you are not seeing the Tomcat 7. The reason Tomcat 7 almost deprecated. Majority of the organizations also not using. But example, if you are saying like Tomcat, I have experience on 5 to 6 years or 8 years experience, they may ask question, have you used Tomcat 7? Then you have to tell yes. But we have upgraded from Tomcat 7 to Tomcat 9. Usually majority of the organizations also, they are trying to use Tomcat 9 only from Tomcat 7. Okay. And I will also tell you what is the process from upgrade from Tomcat 7 to Tomcat 9, so that you will get some idea what are the things you need to be taking care before going to upgrade, so that you will get some idea. Later I will explain that one as well. Example, I'm going to Tomcat 9, and here you can see that specific Tomcat version, and here you can see that latest version is the specific 9.0.104. Clear, right? But in real time, we won't be use the latest version. We always use the little bit older version. And also the same version will be used for from lower environment to production. Until production, we'll be use the same only. In case if you want to be use specific latest version, right? What you will do? First, we'll be do the POC. We'll be testing dev, test QA, UAT, pre-prod, and then we'll be testing the. We'll be use that same version in the production. Okay. There are a different process we have. Any questions now? Now you understood, right? Depends on example. If you use the Tomcat 9, if you're Java, as I said, right? If you have a Java based application, the particular Java based application, they have written Tomcat 11, they will use the Tomcat 9 because Java 11 might not be support Tomcat 7. That is the reason. Understand, right? Fine. Now you can real world use cases, right? If you want to be running any Java servlet based web applications, we can use Tomcat, and also hosting a Spring Boot REST APIs. We can use this particular Tomcat. And also if you have any educational environments for learning Java web development, we can use this one. And internal web dashboards or portals, you can use this particular Tomcat if you want to be deployed. And lightweight backend server for Java apps, we can use this particular Tomcat. Now you understood, right? What exactly Tomcat, why we use Tomcat, what are the versions available, which version will be using. Currently, majority of the organizations are using Tomcat 9, even though we have a Tomcat 10.11, but majority of the organizations are using Tomcat 9. And also one more thing, remember, especially if your organization using the monolithic applications, they will be deploy the Tomcat only. Either they will be deploying that install Tomcat in Windows or Linux, and then they will be deploying that particular WAR file in Tomcat only. And also one more thing, remember, everything will be do the automation installation part and also deploying our WAR file on Tomcat. Everything will be taken care by taking care through automation only. We won't be doing any manual process. And one more thing, remember, Tomcat is one of the most important, because if your organization using monolithic applications, if something issue happen, you need to know the how we need to be restart the Tomcat, how do we check the logs, everything you need to be aware, what exactly issue, how much CPU and memory utilizing the particular Tomcat, everything you should be aware of that particular one. That's why you should be aware of this particular Tomcat. So don't miss this particular Tomcat concept. Okay, but Tomcat is totally very simple. It won't be, it is not like a difficult one. So just you need to be understand what are the topics available and how do we install, how do we check the logs if something happen, and how do we change the port numbers, everything, both Windows and Linux. So I will show you for both Windows and Linux. In case if they ask questions related to Windows, you can easy to tell. If they ask questions related to Linux, you can easy to explain them. Clear, right? Any questions now? Now we are going to discussing about types of roles available in Tomcat. Let's see that so that you will get some idea. So here I already written the documentation, types of roles, what are the roles available in DevOps 0 to Hero repository, day 14, types of roles available in Tomcat. First of all, you have to be know Tomcat roles in real time. We won't be use it in the real time I'm talking about, but you may ask question, Murli, then why are you going to explain these types of roles in Tomcat? The reason, once we install the Tomcat, you need to see that what are the options available in that particular Tomcat manager GUI. So for that one, we require the roles. So that's the reason I'm going to explain this particular Tomcat roles. But I highly recommend watch this one. Don't skip it, because whenever we are installing Tomcat, during that time I will be define inside the Tomcat-user.xml. I will be define that particular roles to accessing our Tomcat dashboard. Understand, right? Fine. In these particular roles will be defined inside wherever you install the Tomcat, there will be having that config directory. Inside the config directory, we have a Tomcat-user.xml. There will be define our Tomcat related roles. And here you have to remember, total we have 6 roles. One is manager GUI. This particular, if you provide that role to that particular Tomcat, right? So it will allow access to the HTML-based manager app UI. The particular Tomcat UI, you can access it using this particular, if you provide that access, this particular manager-GUI. And similarly, manager-script, it will allow access to remote deployment via script or tools. Okay, it will allow the remote deployment via script or tools. And manager status, it is allow access to server status information read only. Example, if you want to see that particular inside the dashboard, you want to see that particular server related information, server status information, you have to provide this particular manager-status. And the next one, manager-JMX. If you want to grant access to JMX proxy interface, you need to provide this particular manager-JMX. And also we do have admin GUI. In case if you want to grant the access to the host manager app UI, you can give this particular admin GUI. And similarly, admin script also, if you want to be allow user script for host management via host, we need to provide this particular role. Here we have a total 6 roles. Again, I'm repeating, in real time, we won't be used. The reason in real time, we don't require to access the Tomcat, the particular manager app or host manager, we don't require to access it. But I wanted to show you what exactly available inside the particular Tomcat, either in the host manager or either in the manager app. I wanted to show you that is the reason I'm going to explain this one. Okay, you will get some idea, right? That is the reason. Okay, and here, right, example inside the tomcat-user.xml, we'll be define that particular roles. Okay, inside the tomcat-user we have, there will be defined roles. Other specific roles here I have mentioned that total 6 roles. One is manager GUI, manager status, manager script, manager JMX, and also admin GUI, admin script as well. These are the roles available. And also here you can see that user, open, close. And here we need to mention what is the username, what is the password. Example, we mentioned that username is Tomcat, password also Tomcat. And also here we need to define this particular username password, which roles we need to be assigned. Here we mentioned that specific roles. What is the role? This particular one, admin GUI, manager status, manager script, and also manager JMX as well. These are the roles. These are the roles available will be declared inside the tomcat-user.xml. Understand, right? And also here I mentioned that don't use our default credentials, admin credentials for the production. You need to change it the specific permissions, username and password. Again, I'm repeating, we won't be use it. You can ignore also, that is fine, but highly recommend to know this, what are the roles available. The reason, whenever I'm going to install the Tomcat in the Linux server or Windows, wherever, right? If you wanted to access our Tomcat, there we require to define our roles. That is the reason I'm explaining here. Understand, right? Any questions? And also here I mentioned that use strong password in case if you are using. And also we need to restrict our manager app via firewall or IP filtering. We need to be disable that, and also we need to disable unused roles. Example, here we mentioned the specific roles, right? Instead of defining this one, we can disable roles or web apps if not needed. Okay. In case if you don't require, we can do that one. Clear, right? These are the types of roles available in Tomcat. I hope understand. Any questions now? Now we are going to discussing about installing Tomcat on Amazon Linux server. Let's see the demo so that you will get some idea. So for that one, right, here we have a GitHub repository, DevOps 0 to Hero, day 14. I already written that documentation related to how do we install the Tomcat. We can go with one by one. First of all, right, what you need, right? You need one server, that is Amazon Linux server. So you can create either Amazon Linux 2 or Amazon Linux 2023. That is your wish. And also you require the root privileges to install your Tomcat. Fine. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create the Amazon Linux 2023. For that one, you can go here. I logged into this account. Currently, I'm in the North Virginia. If you observe here, I'm in the North Virginia. I'm going to launch the EC2 instance. Here you have to remember, guys, usually in the real time, currently, majority of the organizations are using Amazon Linux 2, but they may migrate from Amazon Linux 2 to Amazon Linux 2023. Here I have given the Tomcat server, and here you can see that Amazon Linux, and here you can see that Amazon Linux 2023, and also we have a Amazon Linux 2, but I'm going to install the Amazon Linux 2023, guys. Okay, but now we can select this one, and then now you can see here AMI whatever and everything. And here most important, our practice purpose, you can select the T2.micro, but the reality in the real time, we won't use the T2.micro. The reason inside the Tomcat will be deploy the application. So that application, it may expect like a 4 GB RAM, 8 CPU memory, depends on use cases. Okay, 4 CPUs, 8 GB RAM, depends on that particular application, it will be used. Okay, but in our case, right, I'm going to select the T2.micro, but please don't tell in the intro level, we use the T2.micro for Tomcat. If you say like that, they can easy to identify. You haven't worked in the real time, just you have practiced. Okay, fine. Now here you can select that. And also I want to tell you here, if you see here, if you select the T2.micro, I have 1 CPU and 1 GB memory. But in case in real time, if you require T2.median, Here you can see that 2 CPUs, 4 GB memory. But our practice purpose, T2.micro is enough. That's why I have selected here. And here, most important, guys, whenever you are creating the EC2 instance, whether it is Windows or Linux, you should be attached to the FEM file. So the reason, right, if you have to be attached to the FEM file, otherwise what will happen? In case if you want to be connect to the particular server, you can connect the using FEM file as well. But without FEM file, you can't connect to the server to set up in case if you want to integrate with AD, some other things, you can't. That's why always recommended to select the key pair. And here you have to remember single key pair we can attach to multiple servers, whether it is Linux, Windows, Ubuntu, Red Hat, doesn't matter. Same key pair we can attach whenever we are creating. In our case, right, I'm going to install the Tomcat in the infra VPC. That's why I have selected here. Select this infra key pair. And here, most important networking, guys. Whenever you are doing that practice, you can directly launch your whatever Tomcat in the default VPC. This is our default VPC. You can also edit this one. If you observe here, this is the default VPC, that is 172.31. But in the real time, right, we won't be use the default VPC. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to select that specific VPC, that is infra VPC. Select this one, and here most important, where you are going to be created. Usually, Tomcat related installation usually will be installed in the app subnet. But in our case, right, what I'm doing here, I'm going to create in the public subnet. The reason we wanted to access to the particular server, we need to connect to the server and we need to be installed, right? For that one, we require the public access. But in the real time, we'll be use either client VPN, AWS client VPN, or Cisco. There we don't require, we always create our Tomcat in the app subnets only. Clear, right? Fine. And here I'm assigning the public IP, enable, and here you can give it Tomcat. Example I'm giving, guys, Tomcat-SZ, and you can select here and you can paste here. And here port number SSH22 for the Linux. And here we have given that anywhere, it means 0.0. But in real time, we won't be give the 0.0. You have to remember that. And here I'm giving that 8 GB. Just launch the instance. Okay. So once you launch the instance, right, usually it will take 1 minute to come up, and then we can log into the server, and then we can install that one by one. Clear, right? Any questions so far? Still it is creating. Okay. Launching installation. Okay, launch that. Now you can select this one. Now, how do we connect the server? Now you can take the public IP or private IP. In our case, I'm selecting the public IP. The reason we don't have any client VPN, that's why. Okay. Now you can select here. Still is going on. Wait for a few seconds. Yeah, select this public IP, copy public IP, go here. In downloads folder only, I have a infra.pem file. So I'm using SSH-i infra.pem ec2-user @ you have to give the public IP or private IP. Okay. In my case, I'm giving the public IP. Now you can enter yes. Now you can able to connect to this particular Amazon Linux 2023 server. If you see here, Amazon Linux 2023. Now I'm going to the root sudo -. Okay, this is clear. Now what I'm going to write, I'm going to go to the step-by-step documentation. We can install the Tomcat. First of all, right, before going to install the Tomcat, first we need to be install the Java version. In my case, right, I'm going to install the Java 11. The reason I'm going to install the Tomcat 9. I'm going to install the Tomcat 9. For that one, minimum we required Java 11. That's why I'm going to install the Java 11. Now you can select this one. If you see here, install Java 11, that particular one. Now you can copy this. You can go here. Now you can enter. Let's say. Now if you see here, wait for a few seconds. Yeah, it is installing. Java 11, it is installing. Okay. Now, meanwhile, right, I'm going to the Google. You can type it here, Tomcat download. Sorry, Tomcat download. And here you can see that Tomcat.apache. This one. Now you can select this one. If you see here, left side, we have versions, Tomcat 9, 10, 11. Here you have to remember, earlier, 2 to 3 years back, we were using the Tomcat 7. But currently, most of the organizations migrated from, upgraded from Tomcat 7 to Tomcat 9. So here you can select the Tomcat 9. And here you can see the latest version in Tomcat 9 is 9.0.1.4. And here you have to remember in real time, we may not be use the latest version. Please note down that. Clear, right? And here you can see the core. And here we have a zip file and tar file. Using this particular tar file, we'll be download the particular one. We can untar it, everything we can do that. Now, if we go here, Java is installed. Now I'm checking here, control Java -version. Now, if you observe here, Java 11 is installed. Okay, super. Now, what I'm going to do, go to the documentation. First, we need to be download the particular one. Where we are going to be download? We are going to be downloading OPT directory. So here you can go to the OPT directory. Not only Tomcat, guys. Any tool will be installed in that. Will be downloaded in the OPT directory only. Example next, JFrog, SonarCube, Tomcat, everything. Now you can go here in the documentation, and here you can see that you can right click, copy link address. Go here. Now I'm using duplicate command, and you can give that particular tar file. If you see here, apache.org, Tomcat name, the specific version. I'm going to download the tar file only. Now you can enter here. If you observe here, you can see that connected, and we are getting the 200 means the particular whatever we provided the URL is working fine. And here you can see the specific version is downloaded. The particular tar file is downloaded. Now you can give the ll command. Okay, here you can see that tar file is downloaded. Now what you have to do? The next step is we need to untar it. How do we do? You can go with use tar-xvf. X is nothing but extract. V is nothing but verbose. F is nothing but file. Apache.tar.gz. Okay, now you can enter. If you see here, whatever inside the tar file, everything extracted. Now you can see here ll command and this particular name. Now you can go to the documentation. Go this documentation. Here you can see that untar it, and X is nothing but extract. V is nothing but verbose. F is nothing but file. Now what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to rename this one. Currently here we have this particular lengthy name, right? What I'm going to do, I'm going to rename to Tomcat-1. The reason we wanted to install the same server, multiple Tomcats. Okay, for that one, I'm giving the Tomcat-1. If in case if you want to install another Tomcat, we can give it Tomcat-2. That's why just I'm giving the Tomcat-1. Understand, right? How do we do? You can give the mv command. If you want to be rename it, we can use mv command Apache dot this one. I'm giving Tomcat-1. Guys, you can give any name, guys. But inside same server, I'm going to install the 2 Tomcats. So I wanted to show you how do we install the single server to install multiple Tomcat. That's why just I'm giving that understanding purpose. I'm giving the Tomcat-1. Now you can enter here. If you observe here, ll command, here we can see the Tomcat-1. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to insert the Tomcat-1, and we can see the what are the options available. I can explain one by one. And here in this particular building.txt, contributor.md, license related, release page, what is the version, everything you can see it in this particular one. Now, first you can go to the bin directory. You can give the ll command here, bin directory. Inside the bin directory, right, we have a multiple files or directories and multiple files. Here it is contains both sh file and bat files. Here you have to remember, if you want to be start the Tomcat, what you have to do? Here you can see that startup.sh. If you see here, we have a startup.sh. Using this particular startup.sh, we can start your Tomcat. In case if you want to be shut down the Tomcat, what you can do, we can use shutdown.sh. If you see here, shutdown.sh we can use, and we can stop the Tomcat. Here you have to remember one thing, guys. For starting, we can in the Linux we can use .sh, startup.sh. For shutdown, it means stop the Tomcat. We can use shutdown.sh. And second thing is you have to remember here, in case if it is a Windows servers, right? Here we have a startup.bat is for starting the Tomcat. Okay, starting the Tomcat. Clear, right? If you want to be stop the Tomcat in Windows, we can use the shutdown.bat. Understand, right? And also one more thing you have to remember, this particular Catalina.sh should be execute permissions, guys. In case if you don't have inside this particular Catalina.sh, if you don't have execute permissions, okay, what will happen, right? The particular Tomcat, it won't be run it. I will also show you later sometime. Currently, if you see here we have a read execute. Other one is empty. Understand, right? And here currently it is on root user, root group. That's why if you start the Tomcat, it will start. But I will show you until I will give the read permissions, this particular Catalina.sh. and I will try to start and stop the Tomcat. Let's see that. Understand, right? Fine. Any questions in this particular bin directory? Not only this tool, guys. Any tool bin directory, it is if you want to be start the start the particular tool, it will be contained inside the bin directory only. Clear, right? Fine. Now, what is the next one? Config directory. You can go to the config directory. This is the one of the most important, guys. First of all, right, inside the config directory, we have a servers.xml file. Inside the server.xml, if you want to be change the port number for shutdown port number, example, if you see here, shutdown port number currently 8005. Okay, in case if you want to be change the shutdown port number, we can do that. And also if you want to be change that your Tomcat port number. As I said earlier, Tomcat default port number is 8080, right? Here you can see the connector port number, that is 8080. In case if you want to be changed from this particular 8080 to some other port number, we need to come to inside the server.xml and we need to modify this one. You may ask question, Murli, when this type of situation will come to change the port number. Example, in case single server, if you want to be install multiple Tomcats, then during that time, right, any one of the Tomcat, you need to be change the port number for both Tomcat and also shutdown port number as well. Clear, right? Fine. This is the major inside the Tomcat.xml. And next one, right, logging.properties. This is also one of the most important. Go to the logging.properties. Inside the logging.properties, in case if you want to be change the log path, if you observe here, this particular Catalina logs related one, it is available in the Catalina.base. Catalina.base is nothing but wherever you install the Tomcat, that is the Tomcat path. Catalina.base is nothing but that is the Tomcat path. Example, /opt Tomcat -1, right? We have installed that, it will take that particular Tomcat path only. Inside the Tomcat path, it will contain the logs directory. Inside the logs directory, it will be stored the particular Catalina related logs only. And also here you can see that maximum rate, how many days you want to be maintained, 90 days. That is the default. If you want to be, you can change it here as well. Usually we'll be changing this particular one as well, logging.properties. I will show you later sometime how do we change the path, and when you restart the Tomcat, the logs are stored in that particular location or not. I will show you. Clear, right? Fine. Now what is the next one? Now next one is Tomcat-user.xml. Inside the Tomcat-user.xml, especially if you want to be declare the Tomcat related users information, username, password, sorry, VAM Tomcat XML. Okay, inside this particular Tomcat-user.xml, if you want to be provide that particular username, password on the specific roles, we can declare there. If you remember earlier, we discussed Tomcat manager roles, manager GUI, manager script, and JMX manager status, admin GUI, everything, right? So if you want to be declare the specific credentials, you can come here, Tomcat-user.xml. We'll be define the particular credentials. I will show you later sometime, you will get some idea. Okay, and these are the things inside the config directory. We do have other things as well, web.xml. In case if you want to be change the web inside the web.xml, if you want to be change it, we can do that, but we won't do much. In case if you want to be change this particular one, example, debug related one, file encoding, whatever you want to be change it, we can do here. Depends on use cases, will be use this particular one. Okay, now what is the next one? Now you can come back one step, and here I'll give the ll command, and here you can see the lib directory. Here you have to remember any tool, not only Tomcat, guys, any tool lib directory, it is contain the libraries, it contains the jar files. These are the jar files related to Tomcat. These are the jar files related to Tomcat. If you have any, if you want to be declare any DB related one, also those jar files also, it will be there here. Example, Tomcat, we don't have any DB, but example I'm telling. Okay, clear, right? Jar lib directory is nothing but libraries, it contains the jar files. Clear, right? Fine. What is the next one? And here you can see the logs directory. Inside the logs directory, we can see the logs. Currently, we haven't started that particular Tomcat. That's why it is showcasing that the particular logs directory. Inside the logs directory, it is showcasing empty only. Okay. Later I will start and I will show you that what are the logs it will be generated, so that you will get some idea. And temp directory, if you want to be stored temporarily, you can use this particular temp directory. And web apps, these are one of the most important. Inside the web apps directory only, we'll be deploy our application. Example, you have written that application, you wanted to deploy the particular application, you have generated the WAR file, You wanted to deploy our application to the Tomcat inside the web apps directory only. Remember, inside the, you can see here, inside the web apps, sorry, PWD. Inside the web apps directory only, we need to deploy our application and we need to restart the Tomcat. Later, what I will do, right? I will show you to deploy WAR file. Example, I will take the Tomcat WAR file, will be deployed so that you will get some idea. Clear, right? Fine. And these are the default one: post manager, manager, example, docs, root. And these four we can delete. Root won't, don't delete the root. If we delete the root, right, it won't be work. That's why. Fine, you can come back one. And then what is the next one? Yeah, work. Work is nothing but whenever you deploy the application, when you run the Tomcat, right, inside the work directory, will be having that cat and everything. Currently, it is empty only. Later, I will show you once we started, so that you can see the particular inside the work directory. We can see the Catlina related on the specific application one. Okay, clear, right? Fine. What is the next one? Now we can go here, give the LL command. I'm going to the documentation. Okay. Now here most important. Currently Tomcat is running in the root user. Tomcat is running in the root user. Instead of running the root user, what we can do? We can create the separate user and then we can set up that particular one. Usually, not only Tomcat, any tool, we won't be running it in the root user. We always run it in the specific user only. Okay, fine. Before going to do, or I'm going to run it. How do we create? User add Tomcat one. Just I'm giving the Tomcat one. This means the specific user Tomcat one is created. I'm verifying here. You can give it ID Tomcat one. If you see here, the specific user is created. Now just I'm setting the password as well. Passwd Tomcat one. Okay. Now we can enter. Just I'm giving that password is Tomcat one. Tomcat one only. Now if you see here, successfully we have updated the particular password or set up the password. Clear. Now what is the next one? And here you can go back one step, and here you can see that Tomcat-1. Currently it is running the root user and root group. Now what I'm going to do? I'm going to change it to Tomcat-1. How do we do? For that one, ch1. I'm giving the -r. What is the usage of -r? Whatever we have a subdirectory subfiles also, it is going to change this particular user and owner. Now here I'm giving that username is Tomcat : and group name is Tomcat-1. Okay, Tomcat-1 : Tomcat-1, and here what is the directory? That is Tomcat-1. Now you can enter here. If you observe here you can see the specific one. It is changed to Tomcat-1, 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 and also if you go inside the Tomcat-1, and here you can see the subdirectories also change it to Tomcat-1 only. Okay, super. What is the next one? Now, instead of running the root user, I'm going to run it in the specific user. Okay, now what we can do? We can start the Tomcat. Let's see. For that one, you can go to the bin directory. And here you can see the startup.sh for starting the Tomcat. Now here you can give it sh startup.sh. Remember, if you want to run that particular shell script, you can give the sh or / also, anything fine. Now you can enter. Now when you run this particular one, now if you see here, Catlina base is nothing but, guys, wherever you install the Tomcat, that is the path. Catlina base, Catlina home, both same only. And temp directory, whatever inside the Tomcat we have a temp directory, that particular temp directory, and JRE, what is that particular one? Class path, everything. Here you have to remember, again I'm telling, if you want to be install the Tomcat, first you have to be install the Java. In our case for Tomcat 9, I have installed the Java 11. Clear, right? And now here you can see the Tomcat started. Super. Now how do we check it? Tomcat started. How do we check it? For that one, first you can go to that Google, and you can take that particular IP. In my case, you can copy this particular public IP. You can go here. What is the port number? :8080. Now you can enter. If you see here, I have given that particular public IP : port number. It is not able to access it. The reason, what is the port number of Tomcat? Tomcat is 8080, right? In the particular Tomcat port number, in this particular EC2 instance, we need to enable inside the security group. Go to the EC2 instance, go to the security group, and here you can see that inbound rule, select this particular Tomcat-SZ, and here inside the particular Tomcat, we can enable our port number 8080. Clear, right? Now we can edit this one. And then now here add rule, and here I'm selecting custom TCP, and here you can give the 8080, and remember currently I'm giving that anywhere IPv4 0.0, but in real time we won't be giving. In case if you say like we are giving 0.0, they can easy to identify you haven't worked in the real time. Real time we won't be giving. We always give the specific CAD range only. Clear, right? Now you can save the rules. Okay, super. Now you can go ahead and access this one. Let's say. Now, if you see here, you are able to access your Tomcat using the particular public IP colon port number or private IP colon port number. Clear, right? Now, this is our Tomcat default dashboard. Okay, home page. And here you can see the specific version. And here we have a server status, manager app, manager, host manager, everything. Just example, I'm click this server status. And here you are getting that access denied. And also if you go here, if you go to the manager app, here also you can see that specific permissions you are getting issue. And also if you go here, host manager also, you are getting this particular error. Clear, right? Now what I'm going to do, before going to resolve this 403 related error, first we can check the logs. For that one, you can go back here, go to logs directory, and here you can see that. Here you can see the catalina.out. Inside the catalina.out, all the logs related, everything will be there. Here you can showcase that whether it is working or not, is there any issue, everything can able to check it here. Okay, if some issue occur, right, first of all, we'll check it in the catalina.out, or we'll be checking the separate application logs. Clear, right? And also here you can see the localhost related logs, manager related logs, we can check it. Example, I'm going to check the manager related logs, cat, manager related logs, enter. Now currently we don't have anything. Okay, and also we do have a host manager related one, local host, everything we can see it here. So in case if something happen, in case application is not working, we can come here in this particular logs directory, and then we can verify here. And here you have to remember in real time, right? Instead of storing the logs in this particular inside the Tomcat directory, what we will do, we will store that logs to the different locations. As I said here, logging.properties, we can change the path, right? I will show you later sometime so that we'll get some idea. Okay, super. Any questions here now? Now we are getting that particular 403 error, right? When you click the server status, when you click this manager, everything, right? You are getting 403. Here you have to remember one thing, guys. When you are installing the Tomcat 9 and above versions, you have to do few things. What you have to do, go here inside the web apps directory. Okay, inside the web apps directory, we have a host manager and manager. If you see here, host manager and manager, we need to do some changes. Now you can go to the host manager, and here you can give the LL command, and here you can see the metadata, meta-inf. Now here you can give the LL command, and here you can open that context, enter, and here you can see, right, values, this particular values file, right? This particular 2 lines we need to be commented out. We need to comment this particular 2 lines. How do we do? Insert mode. In case if you want to be comment 2 lines, right, what you can do, you can give it here. I'm in here, less than explanatory, sorry, less than explanatory hyphen. And then second line, right? Now you can come here, hyphen greater than. Now what will happen, right? This 2 lines is commented, remaining is fine. Now you can save this one. Again, I'm telling inside that path, we need to do that. Now you can save this particular one. Okay. Where I did inside the host manager, we have a meta-inf context.html, XML, there we modify it. Similarly, you can come back one step, and here you can see that manager directory also. Go to the manager directory, and then here you can, cd managers, and you can give the LL, and here you can go to the meta info, and here you can see that the context.html, XML, and then insert mode, and here also we need to comment this particular 2 lines. Now you can insert mode. If it is a Tomcat 9, guys, okay? If Tomcat 7, we don't require. Tomcat 9 only, we need to do that. Clear, right? Okay, now you can go here, enter, hyphen greater than. Now it is commented. If you see here, these two lines commented. Okay. Right, what you have to do, we need to restart our Tomcat. How do we do? Again, you have to go to that OPT, Tomcat, bin directory, and here LL command. Here you can see that. First, we need to be restart. If you want to be restart, what you can do? First, we can shut down and we can start again. sh shutdown.sh. Enter. If you see here, when I run this particular Tomcat sh shutdown.sh, it is shut down. And if you go and check it here, this space it won't be load. Earlier we were seeing that 403, right? Now we are getting that this site cannot be reached. Now what you can do? Now we can go here. You can start again. sh startup.sh. Now you can enter here. Now if you observe here, Tomcat is started. Now you can go ahead and check it here. Now you can enter. Now if you see here, earlier we got that 403 error, but now we are not seeing that particular 403. It is asking username and password. It is asking username and password. Now what you have to do? Inside the tomcat-user.xml, we need to define our roles, right? If you remember earlier we discussed the particular roles we need to define. If you see here, inside the particular tomcat-user.xml, we need to add these particular roles. Total, we have 6 roles, right? One is manager GUI, manager status script, manager JMX, admin GUI, admin script. And here we are defining that username is Tomcat, password is Tomcat, and we are defining the particular username password, this particular roles. Here we define that all 6 roles. If you see here, okay, total 5 roles we have defined here. Okay, clear, right? Any questions now? Now what I'm going to do? Here we define that particular 6, but here we assign only 5 roles only. You can assign another role as well. That is whatever missed it. Clear, right? That is admin-script. We need to add it here. Now what I'm going to do? Just copy this one. Inside the tomcat-user.xml, we can define this. Now if you go here, one step back, and here you can see that config directory. Inside the Tomcat only, guys. Config directory, and here you can see that tomcat-user.xml. Now you can open here tomcat-user.xml. Now you can enter insert mode. Now what I'm giving here, right? Inside the Tomcat users. If you see here, inside here we need to define enter. Remember, guys, inside the Tomcats one, right? We need to define this particular word. Just copy this one again. Now you can paste here. Once you added these particular roles, what you have to do? We need to restart our Tomcat. What you have to do? We need to restart our Tomcat. Now what you can do? Shift : save it. I have saved it. Now you can go to the particular bin directory, Tomcat 1, bin directory, and here you can see that sh shutdown.sh. First we stop the particular Tomcat. Now startup.sh. Now it is started the Tomcat as well. Tomcat is started. Now you can go here. Just refresh this page. Now if you see here, it is asking the username and password. Now what I'm giving that username is Tomcat, password also Tomcat. And also you can see here. Now you are getting 401. That is fine. Here just first I'm checking the server status. Click this one. Here it is asking the credentials. Now you can give it here, username Tomcat, password also Tomcat. Okay. Now if you see here, you are seeing that particular server related information. What is the memory usage, everything, and which is it instance, what is the Tomcat version, what is the Java version, Tomcat version, and also Linux OS, what is the exact one, what is the private IP, private host name, everything you can able to see it. Who has access this particular client? This is my public IP. Everything you can able to see it in this particular server status. And also you can go and check it other two as well. Here we can see the manager app. Click the manager app, and here you can see that inside the manager app only, whatever we are deploying the apps directly, those available inside the manager app. If you see here, manager app, here you can see that docs, example, host manager, everything can able to see it here. And in case if you want to be stop, you can stop that one. If you want to be reload, you can do that. If you want to be undeploy, you can undeploy. And also ideal timeout, we mentioned that 30 minutes. And whatever you are seeing here, right, everything available inside the web apps directory only. And also in case if you want to be deploy WAR file from your server, you can give the context path and we can deploy as well. And also in case if you have WAR file in your local, just choose file, and then it will go to there, and then you can upload the particular WAR file and you can deploy the particular one as well. Clear, right? Clear, right? Yeah. Any question here? And server information also we can see it here. Usually, yeah, one more thing I can show, explain, then I can tell you whether we'll be use this particular one as well or not. Okay. Next one is host manager. Now you can click the host manager. Here you can see that it is asking the username password. Now you can give the username is Tomcat, password also Tomcat. Here you have to remember, guys. Inside this, we mentioned that manager GUI, admin GUI, everything, right? That's why you are able to access your host managers related as well. Now if you see here, inside the host manager, here you can see that host related information, everything. Understand, right? So these are the three. Here you have to remember one thing. Usually in the real time, we won't require to access in this particular Tomcat dashboard. We don't require as well. That's why we won't be declare that particular inside the tomcat-user.xml. We won't be declare this particular. We won't be declare this particular. Tell me, particular roles and username password. We won't be declared in the real time. Why I have showcased, right? You wanted to understand what are the options available inside the Tomcat, inside the server status, manager app, and host manager. What are the options is available? That's why I have mentioned here. I have declared the inside the tomcat-user.xml. I have declared this particular roles. Clear, right? Any questions now? No questions, right? Okay. So this is the one of the most important, and you need to be understand what are the options, but don't tell in the interview level inside the tomcat-user.xml we mention these particular roles. Don't tell. If you tell, they can easy to identify. You haven't worked in the real time. Just to you are practice and trying to get the job. The reason these particular roles we won't be declared in real time. Clear, right? Now you may ask question, Murli, then how you can access the application? So inside the Tomcat, we'll be deploy the application, and then it will come like example 8080 / specific path. Using that particular one, we'll be accessing application. You don't require to log into this particular GUI, Tomcat GUI, and check it. What are the apps available? Everything. We won't be use this one. Why I am repeating this many times, right? The reason you may tell in intro level we declare the tomcat-user.xml, they can easy to know. That's why I'm repeating multiple times. Understand, right? Any questions? Now you understood how do we install the Tomcat on how do we install the Tomcat on Amazon Linux 2023. And here you have to remember, we are always stop the Tomcat inside the bin directory. It is not recommended. I will show you later sometime how do we set up the service level. Service level means you can if you set up the service level, you can run the Tomcat from anywhere inside the server. You don't require to every time come to the bin directory. You don't require to come to the inside the bin directory and set up all the steps. I mean, start and stop the Tomcat. It is not recommended. We always go with the service level only. Later sometime I will show you. Any questions now? I hope understand, right? Now you have successfully installed the Tomcat 9. In case if you have any questions, if you are facing any issues, feel free to comment. Any questions now? Now we are going to discussing about setting up Tomcat as a service in Linux. Let's see the demo so that you will get some idea. So here we already written the documentation related to this particular setting up Tomcat as a service. So before going to set up, first we need to be understand. So why do we require to set up service level instead of running go to inside the bin directory or run the Tomcat everything? If you observe here, currently I'm bin directory. We have started the Tomcat. So here you can see that Tomcat is running fine without any issue. That is fine. But in case if you want to be shut down the Tomcat, right? Again, you have to come to this location inside that Tomcat OPT Tomcat-1 bin directory. You need to shut down that particular Tomcat, correct? Instead of that one, instead of every time go to bin directory, start the Tomcat, stop the Tomcat, what we can do, right? We can set up the service level. If you set up the service level, what will happen? If you set up the service level, what will happen? You can run the Tomcat. You can stop the Tomcat. We can stop the Tomcat from anywhere inside within the server. Understand, right? That's why we always set up the Tomcat as a service level. And one more thing, right? In case if someone is stopped the server, Linux server, right? In this particular Linux server only, we have installed the Tomcat. If someone is started rebooted the server, what will happen? If you are not set up the service level, what will happen? Again, you have to log to the particular server. You have to come to manually go to the bin directory. You have to stop the you have to start the Tomcat. But if you set up the service level, even someone is rebooted the server, once a server is up, automatically the service also up. Okay, understand, right? For that one, we always set up the service level only. Before going to set up the service level, highly recommend first you need to stop the Tomcat inside the bin directory, because we already started, right? First you need to be shut down that one as such, shutdown.sh, enter. If you see here, I have stopped the Tomcat. If you go and check it here, just refresh this page. Now you are not able to access it because we have stopped the Tomcat. That's why you are getting here. This site cannot be reached. Okay. Super. Now what is the next step? The next step, right? You can go here. If you want to be set up the service level, I already showcased Nexus, SonarQube as well, right? So similarly for Tomcat also, I'm going to set up. If you want to be set up the service level, you can see here etc systemd. Inside the system directory, you can create a specific name. Example, if you want, you can set up the tomcat1.service, because in our case we have a tomcat1, right? That's why you need to mention the tomcat1.service. Inside the tomcat1.service, you need to define this particular thing. First one, description, the specific version, and after network.target only default this. And here most important, where it is running our Tomcat. Our Tomcat is running in user is Tomcat1, group is Tomcat1, right? If you go and check it here, if you give the LL command, if you see here, user is running in that Tomcat1, group also running in the Tomcat1 only. That's why you need to mention that user and group. In case if you are not mentioning this particular user and group, it will consider as the particular whatever service is set up, right? It is considered as it is running in the root user. Okay, understand, right? Fine. Now here you can see that exe start. It means execute start, and here we need to mention your startup.sh path. In our case, our Tomcat is inside the OP directory. We have a Tomcat-1, and bin directory we have a startup.sh. The particular startup.sh we have given here. Similarly, for shutdown means stop the Tomcat, right? For that one, we need to define our shutdown.sh related path. We already defined here the specific path, and also you can check it here. What is the path? If you see here, opt Tomcat-1 bin directory, and then here you can give the LL command, and here you can see that startup.sh and also shutdown.sh. Here we mention the specific one, and restart is equal to on failure. That is fine, and install this one. Now what I'm going to do? I'm going to copy this one and we can paste there. Now you can go to the etc systemd system, and this is our etc systemd system. Inside this particular one only will be create the service, and here you can see the seat here, right? Currently we don't have any services related Tomcat1. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create it VAM Tomcat1, because that is Tomcat1, right? That's why we are giving that Tomcat1.service, enter. Now you can give the insert mode, and then here you can give your the specific script. Okay, now what you have to do, you can save this particular one. Okay, now we have saved it. Now you can give the LL command. If you observe here, Tomcat1.service, we don't have a execute permissions. Now what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to give the execute permissions. For that one, I'm giving that chmod 777 Tomcat1.service. Now if you see here we have given that full permissions. And also you have to remember one thing, our Tomcat is running in the Tomcat1, right? If you want, you can change this particular Tomcat1.service. User is Tomcat1 and group also Tomcat1. If you want, you can change it as well. Usually in real time, we won't be running it in the root user. We always run it in the specific user, whatever user running the Tomcat, right? Same user only will be give it. Okay, super. Now what is the next one? Currently, I'm giving that root user only. That is fine. Now we need to start it, right? Now if you see here, pwd, currently I'm in the root user. Now what you have to do, here you have to remember one thing. Whenever you're setting up the service level, you have to remember one thing, guys. Always first you need to run the systemctl enable Tomcat1. What this command will do? Tomcat1.service. What this command will do, right? What is the major advantage of using this command, right? Systemctl enable the specific service name. So when you run this particular one, it will set up the, it will be enable our Tomcat service. So what will happen if someone is restarted the server? Example, some reasons I have rebooted this particular server or restarted the server. What will happen, right? When you set up this service level, when you enable this particular service, what will happen? Once the server is up, automatically the particular service also up, because we enable this particular Tomcat1. That's why this particular service we have enabled. That's why it will automatically up. Understand, right? Clear, right? Now I'm checking the status. Systemctl status Tomcat1.service. If you see here, currently it is showing that inactive dead mode because we haven't started. That's why it is showcasing that inactive. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to start this one, Control C. Control C. Now I'm checking here, systemctl, start, Tomcat 1. Now you can enter. If you see here, now we have started the Tomcat. Now I'm checking that the status, systemctl, status, Tomcat 1. Remember guys, this is the service name. Tomcat 1 or Tomcat 1.service we need to provide. Just you can give Tomcat tab, it is automatically fill our service name. Now you can enter here. If you see here, now you can enter here. Now if you observe here, it is active, running. It means this particular service, whatever Tomcat 1 service, right? It is running fine without any issues. Any questions? Now it is running fine. Everything looks good. Now what you have to do? Now you can go here, go to here, and you can refresh this page whether it is accessing or not. If you observe here, we have set up the service level. Now the particular Tomcat also is running fine. Now, as I said earlier, you can run it this particular start or stop the Tomcat from anywhere. So currently, earlier I was in the root user. Now I have started the Tomcat and also stop the Tomcat as well. If you want to be stop it, right? Similar, systemctl, stop, Tomcat 1. Enter. Now, if you see here, when you run this particular command, right, what will happen? It will stop the Tomcat. Now you can go ahead and check it here. Now your Tomcat is not up and running. The reason we have stopped that particular Tomcat service. And also you can check it here, systemctl, status, Tomcat 1. Now you can enter here. If you see here, it is showing that failed one. Clear, right? Understand, right? It is stop state only. Any questions now? And also remember, guys, we are using t2.micro. Might be some reasons also it might not be start properly Tomcat because in real time we always use bigger one. But our practice purpose we choose the t2.micro. Clear, right? Fine. And also in case if you want to restart, you can give it systemctl restart, and you can give the Tomcat. If you see here, systemctl space restart space Tomcat1.service. Now you can enter. Now what will happen? It is restarted. Now you can check the status. Let's see. Restarted means it will stop the Tomcat and it will start the Tomcat. Understand, right? Now you can check the status. Now if you see here, it is showcasing that the particular service is working fine. Any questions now? And also sometimes, right, some reasons we may need to be change the particular Tomcat1.service inside the etc system directory. Now what I'm going to do, example, I'm going to change it. Now what you have to do, you can see it, okay? etc system. Now you can go here. Here you can see the Tomcat1.service. Now I'm opening the Tomcat1.service. Now you can enter here, insert mode. Example, what I'm doing here, right? Example in the line number 2 description. Example, just I'm adding extra line. Okay. Tomcat 9.version. Insert mode, version. Just example, I have added this particular one. What I wanted to show you here, if you modify any service level, okay, if you are trying to do the restart, right, the specific service, before going to do, you have to run that systemctl daemon reload option. Otherwise, it won't be work. Let me show you that so that you will get some idea. So I have modified the particular service level. Now I'm saving this one. Fine. Now you can go here, systemctl status Tomcat1.service. When you enter this one, right, if you see here, it is showcasing that running fine. Now what I can do, right, systemctl restart Tomcat1.service. Now if you see here it is showing that warning message it is throwing. Again, I'm just entering here. Now if you see here, warning message, warning is giving the unit file, source configuration file or drop in the particular Tomcat1.service is changed on disk. Okay. Now what you have to do for this one, you have to run this particular one to reload the particular configuration. Inside the Tomcat1.service, I made some changes. If you made any changes in the service level, what you have to do, we need to reload the particular one. For that one, you can use systemctl daemon -reload. You can use this particular command. If you see here, again, I'm telling guys, when you run this particular command, right, what will happen? Whatever your service, right, Tomcat1.service, you made some changes, right? It will be reload that in the system level. Okay. Now you can enter here. If you see here, I run this particular command. Now it is done. Now you can go ahead and check it. Restart one. Now it is working fine without any issue. Understand, right? What I'm saying here, if you use this particular, if you made some changes in the inside the Tomcat service level, example, tomcat1.service, I made some changes. Okay, that the particular changes, first what you have to do, you need to reflect that one. If you want to be reflect that one, what you have to do, if you made some changes, you have to run this particular command, systemctl daemon-reload. You have to run this particular command. Whatever you done the changes, it will be reload. And then here, if you want, you can start or stop the Tomcat. It will work. Understand, right? So this is the one of the most important. And also remember, service level, not only Tomcat, Next, JFrog, anything, any tool, we always set up the service level only. We won't be go every time inside the bin directory stop, start. We won't be go do that one. Understand, right? Clear. And one more thing you have to remember, we won't be accessing using port number colon IP address colon port number. We won't be use. We always use the DNS name only. DNS means, example, if your application related to user-registration dot user-registration dev dot techworldwithmurali. Okay, example I'm telling. techworldwithmurali.in or .com. We'll be accessing using DNS name. Example like this, techworldwithmurali.com. Not techworldwithmurali.com or next.techworldwithmurali.com. I already showcased, right? That we will access like that. Don't tell in interview level we accessing a Tomcat using port IP address colon port number. If you say like, they can easy to identify. You haven't worked in the real time. Okay, just you have learned and you are trying to get the job. Clear, right? Be careful on that one. And one more thing, we don't require to accessing our Tomcat GUI in real time also we want. And what we will do, we will be deploy our application to the web apps directory. From there, we can accessing our application. Clear, right? Any questions now? Hello everyone. Good morning. Myself Muralidhar Reddy. I'm a DevOps consultant and solution architect. Now we are going to discussing about how do we deploy the WAR file in Tomcat. Let's see the demo so that you will get some idea. So as I said earlier, usually inside the Tomcat will be deploy the WAR file, right? We can take any of the example. Earlier in the Maven, we have generated the WAR file. The particular WAR file we can deploy on Tomcat as well. But in this session, right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take sample WAR file, that is the Jenkins WAR file. So we can deploy that one. And here I already written the documentation. So we can see the demo so that you will get some idea. So for that one, right, if you see here, go to the Google and you can type it Jenkins WAR file download. And then you can come down. Here you can see that WAR file. Here you can see the Jenkins.war. Now we can click this particular one. So here the latest version is 2.507. So, but in our case, we are going to be install the 2.462.3. This particular specific version, I'm going to download it and I'm going to deploy on Tomcat. Remember guys, these are the WAR file. Now, how do we download this particular WAR file? Right click and then copy link address. First, what you can do, you can go to that root directory or wherever. And if you see here, currently I'm in the root directory. I'm using wget command to download the particular specific version WAR file. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, I can give it here, wget WAR file. If you see here, we are going to download the particular WAR file, Jenkins.war file. Specific version is 2.462.2.3. Understand, right? Now you can enter. When you enter this one, what will happen? It will be download the specific version. If you see here, we are getting the 200 error, 200 response. And here you can see the Jenkins.war file is downloaded. Super. Now what you have to do? We need to deploy this particular WAR file in the Tomcat. How do we do? Where we need to deploy the particular inside the Tomcat, where we need to deploy? We need to copy this particular WAR file to the web apps directory. Correct? Now we can MV command before going to do, right? First you can stop the Tomcat systemctl. Highly recommend guys. First you can stop the Tomcat systemctl. Stop on the Tomcat 1.service. Okay, now we can give it here mv Tomcat, Jenkins.war and then /opt Tomcat-1. Go to the web apps directory. Now it means we are moving this particular Jenkins WAR file to web apps directory. Now we can enter here. Now we are good. Now you can go to the opt directory, Tomcat-1 web apps directory. Correct? As I said earlier, inside the web apps directory only, we will be deploy our application. If you see here, Jenkins.war file is deployed and currently it is running the root user. Instead of running the root user, what you can do, if you want, you can give it a Tomcat-1. So here, now we have deployed, right? Our deployment is done. Very good. Super. Now what you have to do, we need to restart that Tomcat so that it will be extract this particular Jenkins.war file. Now, if you see here, systemctl, restart Tomcat. Restart means it will stop the Tomcat and it will start the Tomcat. If you see here, now you can give the status. Let's see, systemctl status Tomcat 1.service. If you see here, currently it is running. So perfect. Now you can give the control C. Now if you give it the ll command, if you see here, whatever you have, we have a war file, right? It is extracted. If you see here, remember, if you deploy the war file inside the Tomcat, it will extract that particular war file. If you see here, this is the Jenkins and it is running the Tomcat 1 and Tomcat 1 only. Super. Now what you have to do? We need to access our Jenkins, right? How do we do? For that one, you can go here. First, you can go this particular Tomcat dashboard. Now you can click the manager app. And then here you can see that. Here you can see that whatever we deploy, right? Inside the manager app, we have the particular Jenkins one. Now here you can see the specific version. In case if you want to be access this particular one, right click and you can open this one. If you see here, IP address colon port number, Jenkins, it is accessing. Now here, whenever you are installing the Jenkins on Tomcat, first we need to be set up not only Tomcat, guys. I mean, directly if you are installing the Tomcat directly or deploying war file in the Tomcat. So Jenkins process is same only. Here you have to remember one thing. If you deploy the war file, Jenkins war file in the Tomcat, the default location is you whatever your home directory. Our Tomcat is running in the /home Tomcat one, right? In the particular one, we will be having the .jenkins directory. There we will be having the secret directory. There we have initial admin password. Now what you can do, just copy this one. Go here. I'm using cat command to get the particular password. Now you can enter. This is our default password. Just copy this one. Now you can go here, paste here. You can click continue. And then here it will ask that suggest a plugins or select plugins. Just select the install suggest a plugins. Double click this one. Now it is going to be install all the plugins, suggest plugins. Example, Git related one, Maven related one, folder, timestamp, pipeline, LDAP, everything it is going to be installed. It may take 1 or 2 minutes installation. Here you have to remember, guys, usually Tomcat in the real time, some of the organization, they may install the Tomcat and Jenkins. Sorry guys, what I'm saying here, some of the organization, they may install the Jenkins on Tomcat only. They will be deploy that Jenkins on Tomcat only. So the process is same only. Here I'm giving that Murali or admin. No, I'm giving that Murali. Password I'm giving here. Confirm password. Murali the Reddy. Okay. And then here we need to provide that mail ID, techworldwithmurali@gmail.com. Now you can save this one. Now it is created the user. Now you can click saved it. Remember guys, this is the IP address colon port number, the Jenkins, because we deployed it, that's why. Now if you see here, save and finish. Now get a Jenkins started. Now you are able to access your Jenkins using this particular specific IP address colon port number /Jenkins. Okay, understand, right? This is the process of deploying the application on Tomcat. For deploying the application on Tomcat, by example, we took that Jenkins WAR file. Okay. Similarly, if you have any other application also, the process same only. First, we need to download that and we need to copy to web apps directory. We need to restart your Tomcat. Before going to deploy it, right? Highly recommend stop the Tomcat, copy that particular WAR file to the web apps directory and then start the Tomcat and you can access your application. Here you have to remember one thing, guys. Usually in real time, we won't be accessing, even if you deploy the Jenkins on Tomcat, we won't be accessing using this particular IP address colon port number /Jenkins. Usually how we will be accessing in real time, right? We will be accessing using like example, https jenkins.techworldwithmurali.in. Remember, we'll be accessing using this particular URL only instead of IP address. But you may ask question, Murali, you have deployed, right? Yes, we have deployed. But if you want to be achieved like this, what you have to do? We need to create the load balancer. We need to create the target group. There we need to define the particular health check path so that instead of using this particular IP address colon port number, what we can do, we can directly accessing using DNS name only. Later, I will show you how do we set up that Jenkins DNS level instead of accessing IP address. I will show you later videos as well. Understand, right? Again, I'm repeating. please don't tell any type of, not only Tomcat, not only Jenkins, not only SonarQube, Nexus, JFrog, whatever, right? We won't be accessing using IP address. Please don't tell in interview level. If you tell in interview level, they can easily to identify, okay, you haven't worked in the real time. Okay, be careful on that one. And also please remember that point as well. Understand, right? This is the process of deploying the WAR file in Tomcat. And here you have to remember one more thing. Usually I have showcased that manual process. Download that WAR file, copy that particular WAR file to the web apps directory, restart the Tomcat. But when it comes to the real time, we always do the automation. Example, if you are trying to deploy one of the application on Tomcat, we'll be write the Jenkins pipeline, and then there will be define that conditions, everything will be deploy our application. Example, you can also use the configuration management tool Ansible as well. Using Ansible, we can deploy our application on Tomcat. That is a totally depends on use cases, depends on project to project. They may follow different process. Wherever, right, 99% we won't be do the manual process. Usually, whatever I have showcased manual process, right? Usually very long back, maybe 4 to 5 years back, when they were using on-premises, right? On-premises, sometimes we, not on-premises, waterfall methodology. In waterfall methodology, we were deploying that applications in everything manual only. But currently we are using agile methodology, DevOps, right? So in DevOps, we always do the automation. Wherever it is applicable, always do the automation only. Understand, right? Clear, right? Any questions now? Now we are going to discussing about changing the port number in Tomcat on Linux server. Let's see the demo so that you will get some idea. So here we have DevOps 0 to Hero GitHub repository, day 14. I already written the documentation. How do we do? We can see the demo so that you will get some idea. Here you may ask question, Murli, why do we require to change the port number? Which situation will get this type of request? Example, one thing is in case single server, same server, here we have a one server, right? This particular server, in case if you want to be install multiple Tomcats, what you have to do, one Tomcat, you will be assign one port number, another Tomcat, you have to assign the another port number. Understand, right? So that's why it may require sometimes, very rare cases, guys, but sometimes what you have to do, right? A single server, if you want to be install multiple Tomcats, what you have to do, both Tomcats, it won't be run it in the same IP, same port number. It will show like, it will throw the error. Another one like already allocated the particular port number. Now what you have to do, you need to be change the port number on the Tomcat level. So how do we do? We can see that. So for that one, first you have to go to the Tomcat /opt Tomcat 1. And here you can see that, here you can see the config file. Go to the config directory. Okay. And here you can see that, here you can see the server.xml. Go to the server.xml. Now you can go to the insert mode. And here you have to remember, there are two things you have to be changed it in case if you require. One is shutdown port number. If you see here, shutdown port number is running the 8005. But if you want, you can change this particular port number as well. And second one is, right, one of the most important, this particular Tomcat port number. If you see here, 8080, in case if you want to be change the particular port number, we can do that. In our documentation, I have given that changing the port number to 9090 instead of 8080. Now you can go here. Yeah, you can go here. Here I'm changing the particular port number, guys. Instead of 8080, now I'm changing to 9090. Now you can save this one. Once you change this particular port number, what you have to do, we need to restart the Tomcat. Then only it will be reflect the changes, whatever you done that particular one. Now you can go to, now you can use this systemctl, Tomcat restart, Tomcat. Okay, now we can enter. Now what will happen, right? It is restarted the Tomcat. Now we can go here, go to the Tomcat. Now here, instead of giving the 8080, now what you have to do, you need to give the 9000. Sorry, 9090. Now you can enter. If you observe here, we change from 8080 to 9090. Now I'm trying to accessing 9090. What will happen? What is happening? So the reason you need to change the port number in the AWS account, the specific EC2 instance level as well. I mean, you need to add the inbound rule. You need to add the inbound rule, that is 9090 related one. That's why you are not able to access it. Let me add that particular 9090 inside the specific server secret group, similar to what we did for 8080. Okay. So this is our Tomcat server. Select this one and go to the secret group. And then here, you can open this particular secret group. And then we need to add that particular 9090. Here you have to remember, guys, if you change the port number 8080 to 9090 in application level also, they have to use the specific 9090 port number only. So that is also one of the use cases. Sometimes, right, so applications are using different port number instead of 8080 to 8090, 8099, 9000, depends on that, right? What you have to do, you are going to deploy the particular application in the Tomcat. That particular Tomcat port number also will be the same. Okay. Now here you can add the rule, and here I'm giving that custom TCP, and here you can give it 9090. But here 8080 we don't require. If you want, you can delete it. Here I'm giving that 0, and then you can save the rule. If you observe here in inbound rule, we have added that particular 9090 to all traffic, but in real time we won't be add the all traffic. We always give the specific CAD range. Example 10 series. Okay, clear, right? Fine. Now what you have to do? Now you can go here, just refresh this page. Now you can able to access your application Tomcat using 9090. Understand, right? So this is the process of changing the port number. In interview level, they may ask question, Murli, I want to change the Tomcat port number. Is it possible? If so, where we can change the particular one? So you have to tell, yes, it is possible. Inside the config directory, Tomcat config directory, we have a server.xml. There we need to change. If you want to be change the shutdown port number and also connector port number, if you want, you can change it. And also we need to add the particular port number inside the secret group as well. Okay, clear, right? So this is the process of changing the port number. Any questions now? Now we are going to discussing about changing the log path in Tomcat. Let's see the demo so that you will get some idea. So here I already written the documentation related to changing the log path in Tomcat. And here you have to remember one thing, guys. There are two types of logging logs here. One is Tomcat related logs. Second one is application related logs. So here what we are going to discussing Tomcat related logs. If you want to be change the path, how do we change it? That is the one thing. Second thing, in finally, I will also tell you application logs, where exactly how they will be configured, everything. I can explain that one as well. First of all, what you have to do, now you can go here. Usually the logs are storing where? Usually if you go here, go to Tomcat OPT, okay, Tomcat 1, and here you can see that application related logs, we can see it here. Sorry, Tomcat related logs, we can see it here in the logs directory. If you go here in the logs directory, and here you can see that Catalina, host manager, local host manager, everything you can able to see it here. Where exactly it is configured? So where exactly it is configured to store the logs here only in this particular logs directory. For that one, you can go here, go to the config directory inside the Tomcat, and here you can see that logging.properties. Remember, again, I'm telling this particular logging.properties. If you want to be defined Tomcat related logging configuration, will be inside the logging.properties. Will be do that. Okay. Now you can go here, logging.properties, insert mode, and then here you can come down. If you see here, Catalina related logs, we can, if you want, you can store it where it is storing. First of all, here we are giving that level, whether it is info, debug, error logs. Here we mention that all means everything will cover. What is the baseline? What is the path of the particular logs? Where we need to be store the logs related to Catalina. So for that one, Catalina.base is nothing but wherever you install the Tomcat, inside the Tomcats, we have a logs directory. There it will store the logs. Understand, right? Here we mentioned that Catalina, localhost manager, host manager, everything same only, guys. Okay, everything same only. Just if you want, you can define this different path as well. Example, if you want to store the logs Catalina.outlogs in the different location, what you can do, you can change this particular path and you can define your path. Example slash this particular path. If you go here, example, I'm not changing, guys. Just example, I'm telling varlog Tomcat. What you can do inside the varlog, you can create the Tomcat directory. There we can define this particular path. Varlog instead of this Catalina.base/logs, right? What you can do, we can give /var/log the particular Tomcat. So logs will be whatever, whenever you restart next time onwards, right? After restart, right? What will happen? The Catliner related logs, it will be stored inside the particular var log Tomcat directory instead of storing in the default path. Understand, right? Similar for local host as well. Similar for manager as well, host manager as well. Understand, right? Any questions now? So this is one of the most important, guys. The reason sometimes they may ask in interview level, hey Murli, application logs where it is storing. Is it, are you configuring inside the logging.properties? No. Remember, inside the logging.properties will be configure only related to Tomcat related configuration, not the application related configuration. Okay, application related logs configuration. Okay, then where exactly will be define that particular application related logs where we need to be stored. For that one, here I have mentioned here example. If you mention the login.properties, it is dedicated for Tomcat only. It is not for application logs. And when it comes to the application.properties, it is dedicated. We can use logback or log4j, whatever. Okay, and it is contain the specific application logs. Similarly, logback -spring.xml also, this is the advanced one, and there also we can define the particular log configuration where we need to be stored. Example, inside the var log Tomcat, we need to store the application logs. Different location wherever you want, we can define the particular path as well. Again, I'm repeating, login.properties, it is dedicated for Tomcat related logs configuration where we need to store your Tomcat related logs. Example, Catalina.logs and host manager logs. Okay, clear, right? But when it comes to the application related logs, example, Spring Boot application, we can define either application.properties or logback-spring.xml, whatever. We can define that. We can declare there where we need to store the application logs. Understand, right? If it is issue related to Tomcat, we'll be checking inside the logs directory, Tomcat logs directory will be check it. In case if it is related to application issue, application logs will be check it and we'll be find out that particular path only. Okay. And one more thing, application logs, we won't be store it inside the logs directory. We always maintain the separate directory path. Example, var log Tomcat, there will be store our logs. The particular var log Tomcat configuration, developer, they will be configured inside the application.properties or the particular logs related .xml file. Okay, clear, right? Any questions now? Now we are going to discussing about installing multiple Tomcat instance on single server. Let's see the demo so that you will get some idea. So here multiple instances is nothing but we have EC2 instance, right? In the particular EC2 instance, we have this is our EC2 instance. We have installed the Tomcat. If you see here, inside the Tomcat, inside the OPT directory, we can see that Tomcat is installed. So in the same server, if you want to be install another Tomcat, multiple instances means multiple Tomcat instances means Tomcat one is one of the instance. Okay, Tomcat instance. So what we have to do, we need to install another Tomcat in the same server only. Usually when this request come, usually in the on-premises, in case if you are working on-premises, right, there in the single server, they may install multiple Tomcats, depends on application, CPU memory utilization, will be install the multiple Tomcats. Each and every Tomcat will be deploy the single application. Example, earlier I have showcased that inside the Tomcat, I have deployed that Jenkins, right? Similarly, another Tomcat we may deploy in another application. Understand, right? And you may ask question, Murli, single Tomcat, can I deploy multiple applications? Yes, you can do that, but that is not recommended. Instead of that one, what you can do, right? We'll be install the multiple Tomcats inside the server, and then instance one will be deploy one application. Instance two will be deploy another applications. So this sometimes this request will come. How do we install the Tomcat? What are the things we need to be changed when you are installing the Tomcat? Everything we can see that one. Again, I'm repeating, single Tomcat, we won't be deploy multiple applications. We can do that, but we won't be deploy. The reason, in case application one, it is utilizing more CPU memory, some issues happening. Okay, it may impact for another application in the same Tomcat instance. That's why what we will do, right? Single server will be install the multiple Tomcats. Understand, right? Fine. Now what I'm going to do here, we mentioned the Tomcat one. Now we can, I will go and install the Tomcat -2 with the same Tomcat version only, guys. I will install and I will come back. Okay. Now, if you see here, Tomcat 2 also install, and I have renamed to Tomcat-2. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start the Tomcat-2. And before going to start write this particular Tomcat-2, first I want to show you this Tomcat-1. It is running in the port number 8080, and also you can go ahead and check it here as well. And if you see here, I'm able to access using IP address colon port number. IP address colon port number. Now I'm able to access it. Here you can see that 8080 is the our Tomcat 1 instance. Now what you have to do, I'm going to start the Tomcat 2 as well. Let's see what will happen. And also what I'm doing here, right? I'm opening another tab here. I'm connecting to the same server. So we can check the logs one server we can check the logs, another server we can do the we can run the commands. Okay, so just copy this public IP and you can give it here. Now it is connecting. Okay, super. Sorry, sudo su hyphen. So this is another same server only, guys. I have opened the two tabs, and here I'm going to the inside the Tomcat-2. Okay, and go to the bin directory. Now what I'm doing here, right? I'm start the Tomcat using sh space startup.sh. Okay. Now you can give it sh startup.sh. Now you can enter. If you see here, Tomcat is started. Super. Tomcat is started. Now we need to check the logs. And here you may ask question Murli, Tomcat 1 is running in 8080 and also Tomcat 2 is also running in 8080, right? When you started, it is showing the started only. But if you go and check the logs, you can go to the logs OPT Tomcat-2 on the logs directory, and here you can see that the particular Catalina.cat, Catalina.out. Okay, and here you can enter. If you see here, it is throwing the error. One is shutdown port number, whatever port number, right? 8005. If you remember, I said in the Tomcat server.xml, we have a shutdown port number that is 8005. It is already using Tomcat 2 as well. That's why it is showcasing that already the particular port is using. That's why you are getting error related to, okay, bind failed. And also 8080 as well. If you go on little bit up, and here also you can see that 8080 as well. What I'm saying here, guys, single server, if any of the application using that specific port number, and if you are trying to install again another application with the same port number, you will say you will see this particular type of error already in use. If you see here, already the specific port number 8080 and also 8005 both are using. That's why the your Tomcat is not running. Again, I'm repeating, single server. If any application, not only Tomcat, guys, any application using the specific port number and the second application is trying to use same port number, it won't be run. The reason, the specific port number is already allocated to one of the application. Example, I'm telling, example, Tomcat. Tomcat is already utilized the 8080 port number and also 8005. So that's why it is throwing the error. Now what you have to do, you need to change the port number inside the Tomcat and then you can start the Tomcat, it will work. Okay, clear, right? Now what I'm going to do, here I'm giving the tile -f Catalina.out. Okay, here I'm giving that -f means it will give the live logs. Now you can enter here. Now you can go here. Now what I'm going to do here in the config directory, go to server.xml. Here you can see that server.xml, VIM, server.xml, and then go to the insert mode, and then you can come down little bit. And here you can see that, guys, 8005, right? Now what I'm giving here, we can give the, I'm changing the port number to 8006. Remember, you have to change the shutdown port number and also you need to change the connector port number. That is the Tomcat port number. Okay. Currently, if you see here, where is that? Go up a little bit. And here you can see that connector port number is 8080. In Tomcat 1, it is already using the 8080. That's why I'm changing this particular port number to 8090 or whatever. You can change it any port number, guys, your wish. Example, I'm giving that 8090. Now you can give it here, save this one. And now what you have to do, go to the bin directory and you can shut down the Tomcat and you can start the Tomcat, it will work. sh, shutdown.sh, enter. Now once you shut down, right, it is already shut down. And also here you can see that currently it is already shut down. Now what I'm going to do, sh, startup.sh. Startup.sh means it will start the Tomcat. If you see here, Tomcat started and also you can check it here. Okay, everything looks good. I don't see any issue. And also here in the last, we can see that server startup in specific minutes. It means Tomcat is started. Now what you have to do, we have given the port number is 8090. Then what you have to do, you can go here in the secret, copy this particular public IP, and then you can open this particular duplicate tab, and you can give it here :8090. Now you can enter. If you see here, I'm trying to accessing the Tomcat to using public IP : port number. I'm not able to do. The reason, we have given the port number 8090 inside the Tomcat, but we haven't enabled the inbound rule, the specific port number. That's why it is not able to access it. Then what you have to do? You can go here, go to the secret group, and then select this particular secret group. And then here you can select the inbound rule, edit inbound rule. And then you can add rule, custom rule. And here I'm giving that 8090. Remember, for practice purpose, we are giving that all traffic 0.0. But in the real time, we won't be give that 0.0. Understand, right? Understand, right? Any questions? If you see here I'm giving that 0.0 save rule. Okay, we have enabled both 8080 for Tomcat 1, 8090 for Tomcat 2. Okay, now you can try to access this. Now if you see here, Tomcat 2 also, you are able to access it. Tomcat 1 is accessing using 8080, and Tomcat 2 you are accessing using 8090. Understand, right? Single Linux server, we can install the multiple Tomcats, not only Linux, Windows also, same process only. Only one thing you have to do, you have to change the shutdown port number and connector port number. Then it will be work another Tomcat as well. And here you may ask question, why we have to be install the multiple Tomcats in the single server? In case some of the project they may use single server to deploy the multiple application. Instead of deploying the multiple applications, single Tomcat instance, what we'll do, right? We'll be create each and every application separate Tomcat, and we'll be installed there. We'll be deploy application in the Tomcat 1. We'll be deploy application 1 in Tomcat 2. We'll be deploy application 2. Understand, right? So this is the process of installing the multiple Tomcats in real time. Also, especially if you are working on premises, we'll be follow this one only. But when it comes to the cloud side, right, we may not be install the multiple Tomcat single server. What we will do, we'll be having the separate Tomcat for each separate application for each and every Tomcat. And also for high availability, we will be maintain multiple Tomcat instances, and will be deployed, and it will be attached to the target group attached to the load balancer, and will be accessing using application DNS name. Example, user registration -dev.techworldwithmurali.in. Example, I'm telling user registration is application -dev is dev environment URL .techworldwithmurali.in. Understand, right? So we'll be accessing like this. Any questions now? So these are one of the most important, and also they may ask in interview level, in case if you are putting experience on premises, right? They may ask question like single server, how do we do? And also remember one more thing. Here, if you install the multiple Tomcats also, Tomcat 2 also will be set up the service level. In the service level means etc system to system. We have, if you go here, etc system D system, and here if you observe here we have created for Tomcat 1, right? Even for Tomcat 2 also we have to create, and we'll be set up the service level only. And one more thing, remember here I have showcased everything manual process installation, but when it comes to the real time, we always do the automation. Automation means, example, you can use Ansible, Chef, Puppet, whatever, depends on project to project. They may use, especially on premises, right? They may use that especially Ansible only, because Ansible is agentless. Using that Ansible, will be install the Tomcat in the destination server, and also using Ansible only will be deploy our application. We'll do the automation as well. We'll be integrated with Jenkins. Once you trigger that particular Jenkins, automatically it will be deployed to the destination applications. Understand, right? Any questions now? Any questions? If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me by LinkedIn, Instagram, Telegram. And also we have TechWorld with Murali website. In this website, I already published all the DevOps related courses: DevOps, AWS, Kubernetes, Helm, DevOps hands-on project, AWS networking. Here we have a 1 month, 6 months, 1 year plans available. If you want, you can enroll here. Still, if you have any questions, feel free to comment. I will try to respond as soon as possible. Thanks for watching this video. We'll see you next video.